York, cause I just love fashion. Let's make the play for the pad, he taxing. Told her I should better, I take my cut from the back.
Manhammer death. I ain't gonna lie. People in Atlanta, yo, I feel so bad for Keith Lee.
Imagine you own a restaurant, and the difference between having a line of hungry customers out the door every day or your establishment looking like a ghost town is based on the experience of one man. That one man is not a professional food critic nor a culinary expert, but millions of people around the country treat his word like gospel.
Now, what is that sweater though? I ain't gonna lie.
Keith Lee is either Batman or Joker when it comes to restaurant owners. But once you hear his story, you will understand why he has such a cult-like following. It's much deeper than a guy who has decent taste buds. Keith Lee is a man who failed at the one thing he was actually good at. Then at his darkest moment, he refused to give up and created a meteoric influence in an industry he had no business.
Dang, 15 million, god dog.
Being in.
This Keith Lee, real niggas aren't named Marcus.
Keith described himself as a very small child who felt the need to display his dominance to overcompensate for his short stature. His bad behavior led to him getting expelled from every school in the Detroit, Michigan area before attending a charter school as a...
I thought this is going to be interesting because I didn't know too much about Keith Lee. I just knew that, but he just, like, he didn't know how, like, you know, to talk, like, socially, so he would just use his, you know,
where he barely managed to graduate the 8th grade.
So by the time I got to high school, I was a weed head, smoking every day. I'm talking about bad, like every day. My freshman year, I had a 0.6 GPA.
Things would...
Buddy, you have to try to have a 0.6 GPA. What are you talking about?
High school, where he lived in the shadow.
The thing is, some niggas graduated with that too, which is crazy.
Of his brother. Keith's older brother Kevin had already garnered a remarkable reputation as a star athlete who graduated with a 3.9 GPA before receiving a scholarship to wrestle for Grand Valley State University, which is an NCAA Division II school. Keith decided to follow in his brother's footsteps for all the wrong reasons.
When I got there, it was more out of spite. It was more out of arrogance. It was more out of just like, now I'm approved to you, I can do it, and I don't even want to do it. I'm gonna just do it because you told me I can't do something else. So I'm gonna just do it just to shit on you, basically.
He utilized all his pent-up aggression and transferred it out on the wrestling mat, where he showed a genuine talent for the sport and squashed his competition. But he was a stubborn, disobedient child who didn't focus on his grades.
But he basically called him a thug. This thug didn't do what he's supposed to do. But no, bro. Hey, for all the football niggas out there, if y'all play football, y'all play on defense, bro, go to wrestling.
Didn't stay disciplined and quit the team. Then
Wrestling
his
gets you
father
right
got arrested
for football.
and imprisoned following a heated altercation with some people in his neighborhood. His father's inability to provide for his family meant Keith, his mother, and younger brother were forced to move into an abandoned home where Keith started to question his religious faith and overall perspective on life. At his lowest moment, the only way he could go was up. He stopped smoking.
Sure, when you're at the bottom, only way is up.
And got back into wrestling. Fast forward to his senior year, Keith averaged a 3.6 GPA and was preparing to wrestle at the Michigan High School State Championships, which hadn't been achieved by a student at Southfield High School since the 90s.
Hey, that's a bounce back for sure. Buddy had a 0.6 GPA at the end of freshman year, which is outrageous. And then he turned it around to a 3.9, 3.6. That's it.
He received a partial scholarship to wrestle for Indiana Tech, but
that's how you turn your life around in a matter of what, 4 years? Or 3 years, I said.
Indiana Tech, connected with the wrestling coach, attended random classes, and got fully immersed into the college life.
As Young Thug Lawyer said, bro, who is Young Thug Lawyer? I just seen it, bro. I just seen it. So one of my homies just said in the group chat, say he's done for because of his lawyer he got.
He was expecting a dorm room since he thought he had a scholarship, but when he showed up to the admissions office, they were confused.
They take me to the office and they like, you don't have no paperwork filled out, sir.
Who are you?
Yeah, they was like, only thing we have is the offer letter that we sent. So we only got your name and your information from the offer letter. They was like, that's all we know about you. We don't know nothing else.
He treated it like a birthday party invitation. You sent me the invitation.
I just showed up.
Keith laughs about the situation but at the time, he was devastated. They told Keith if he didn't pay them $20,000 for the semester and $2,000 for the application fee, he wouldn't be allowed to go to
the application fee $2,000? Oh, no.
School. Unable to get a loan, Keith had to move back with his family who relocated.
My buddy looked like I don't know. This picture reminds me of like T.I. or some Nick Cannon type of jump right
Heads
here.
to Las Vegas.
I
He was
don't
now
know.
sharing bunk beds with his 14-year-old brother, who regularly reminded Keith that he was a loser.
At this point, I'm in the deepest depression I've been in a long time.
Dang.
Because I'm like, oh, the reality is sitting in.
Yeah,
He's right.
yeah.
I'm not in school. I don't have a job.
Right.
I got fired already. I didn't quit a job. My track history with work is already terrible. I didn't got kicked out of school.
Yeah.
I don't have no other offers.
Right.
Nothing in life is looking bright to me right now.
Right.
I don't have nothing going for me.
But he need to take that security job at the Freddy Fazbear's.
Keith's older brother Kevin had recently secured a contract to fight in the UFC as Kevin the Motown Phenom Lee, and Kevin was a savage. At his peak, he held a 16-2 professional record and was toe-to-toe with
Yo,
legends
shut up.
like Tony Ferguson and
Catch these
Charles
fucking
Oliveira. Kevin
strokes.
forced Keith to get into the gym with him, and on his first day, their coach Dewey Cooper realized the potential Keith had as an MMA fighter.
Dewey
Desperate for
Cooper.
money and a purpose, Keith trained for a year straight and won his first 4 amateur fights. The only 2 losses he had were by split decision, meaning he was a very promising prospect. However, he was earning next to
Scapehead.
nothing for these, $500, maybe $1,000 per fight. Keep in
No,
mind, this
no,
was
I'm
over
not
the course of
taking
3
them.
years, so he was broke following a rotation of various low-end jobs. But luckily, he met his girlfriend, now wife, Ronnie, while working for ASICS. Keith credits Ronnie with being the anchor to keeping him grounded and focused on
Hey,
becoming
that's how
the
you
best
know you got a
version of
real
himself.
one. That's how you know you got a real one. That's how you know it. You know what I'm saying? A girl mess with you when you damn broke, you ain't got nothing going, and then now you up now, she with you for the whole ride. That's lit. That's lit.
Following a submission victory against Leonardo Carvalho at Global Legion
Did not
FC13,
be okay.
Keith proposed to his
You
girlfriend
take the
Ronnie
strokes
and
for me then.
intentionally got her pregnant 2 days later. On the same day of the proposal,
That sounds
Keith's manager
outrageous, by the
informed
way.
him that his victory against Carvalho earned him a 6-figure contract with Bellator. He won his very first
Hey.
Bellator bout against Sean Bunch. It took many years, but once he finally had a support system
said
around
you.
him, wife,
Yeah.
coaches, brother,
You
he
in
was
a
able
rotation.
to crawl out of the repetitive cycle of depression and low ambition. Now with some free time and spare income, Keith signed up for TikTok. Keith's journey on TikTok started just like anyone else, participating in trends for no reason other than it seemed fun. From there, his uploads were just random things that pertained to his everyday life. He was getting maybe 50 views per video, but it seemed more like an outlet for him to have fun rather than start a business. But then the pandemic
Right.
hit, the world shut down, and Keith needed to make something happen.
I downloaded TikTok after I kept saying I wouldn't. Now I'm sick and tired of every video I post only getting 50 views. I'ma sit here with my dog until me and him get famous.
In an attempt to garner more views, Keith began posting psychology facts videos. He gained a little bit of traction, but it didn't last long. He started to become desperate for virality.
You wanna get famous? Follow these simple instructions. Download another app, cause this ain't the one. This ain't it, Chief. It ain't never gonna happen.
But this ain't it.
He would cash out people if they solved a riddle. He posted math problems for people to solve. Even though he looked defeated, he refused to give up. At this point, Keith was obsessed with the platform, posting daily, if not multiple times per day.
That's what-
He started
that's
featuring
what
his wife
lockdown
Ronnie
did,
on his
people.
page after he went semi-viral talking about building a nursery for their expected baby. He then proceeded to document milestones throughout their pregnancy, many of which received thousands of views and ignited a dramatic shift in
Motion,
Keith's
okay.
content. In September of 2020, Keith won his second fight against Vinicius Zani.
Whatever they have in store for me, I'm always here to fight. I'll fight as soon as my daughter's born. My daughter's born in 4 days, so as soon as she gets here, I'm ready to go again.
He didn't lie. Just 1 week later, he and Ronnie welcomed their first child,
Aw.
Carter. From there, Keith's whole TikTok was dedicated to documenting him
Motion.
being a parent. His love
Playing hide and seek with people from my TikTok live. Damn.
loving and nurturing attitude
That-
towards
that
his
easy,
child
huh?
attracted a large
Hey, only
following
keep
of
it, man.
supporters. He provided them with wholesome moments, such as clipping his daughter's nails for the first time and celebrating her first Halloween. This was his family man era. Keith took a fight on short notice,
How old is
just 2
Keith
months
Lee?
after his previous, to fight on the main card at Bellator 253. Unfortunately, he lost by decision to Rafion Stotts, but that didn't ruin
damn.
his spirits. Keith the family man kept posting his terrible dancing videos and even started sprinkling in some cooking content. By mid-2021, 2021, he had
I think I seen one of those
1
cooking
million
vids.
followers and was averaging maybe 100,000 views per post. This was his foundation, the people that knew Keith was a humble, honest family man. Unfortunately, he would hit a new rock bottom when he lost his six-figure Bellator contract. In August of 2021, he was set to face his toughest opponent yet, who was undefeated. Keith was beaten and bloodied and then submitted in just the first round, then got up while unconscious and stumbled headfirst into the cage. The clips of his loss made the rounds on social media. He was embarrassed. He got a call from his manager saying he was cut from Bellator. Keith was back to rock bottom. His first TikTok back after his loss was him, poetically, ordering some food.
I have these sunglasses on because my eye is black and my face is beat up. I'm fine though.
Buddy's foot messed up too. Let's talk about that.
He had 1 million followers, but he was only making around $400 per month on TikTok. His fight career was looking grim, and TikTok didn't seem realistic. Then he got a call from the owner of Harold's Chicken just a couple days after his loss. They asked him to do a review of their establishment. At the time, he didn't know it, but Keith just discovered his next big venture.
Alright, Harold's Chicken in Las Vegas. They didn't have no mac and cheese, but it's okay. Overall, I get the food a 9 out of 10. Without question.
Following his review of Harold's Chicken, Keith made food reviews as a side quest on his page. However, his main focus was on family vlogs and cooking content. He was still largely referred to as the cooking guy, regularly being asked about his cooking content during interviews. In January of 2022, his wife became pregnant with their second child, and they desperately needed to find another source of income. He started doing more and more food reviews, but they weren't that organized, and he was very generous with his ratings.
Wait. They had another child and he didn't have no other, you know what I'm saying, the source of income? I mean, hey, I guess.
We are sitting outside of Firehouse Subs because today we are doing an official food review. This has the perfect amount of spice. Like my tongue is tingling a little bit. I got that feeling on my lips. You still taste all of the flavor.
Hey, Firehouse Subs is fire though.
His faith and prayed something good would come from this TikTok thing, and it did. In June of 2022, he signed a brand deal with Wingstop worth 6 figures, the same amount he had lost from the Bellator contract. He successfully was making a career.
Really? I didn't even know about the Wingstop thing.
Better. His food reviews slowly started to become his main content.
Yo, I still haven't tried Shake Shack, bro. I want to try Shake Shack, bro. There's one in in Atlanta. I gotta drive far out to get though.
Honesty was very entertaining.
Altogether, this food was $50, and the customer service was terrible. The lady at the front where I was picking up was really rude, like extremely rude. I had to call back and get her name. I think she lied because she answered the phone like I didn't recognize her voice. And said,
I'll tell you, this is, hey, if Pat talks about the Atlanta experience from Keith Lee, y'all gonna understand.
Don't get the girl. You the girl.
Then in October, the popular YouTube channel People vs. Food approached him to collaborate on their channel, and he accepted. This channel has over 12 million YouTube subscribers, and he knew the exposure would help his TikTok career immensely. By the way, double check if you're subscribed to my channel. I asked my wife what I should post on my page
already, you know what I'm saying, Pat, I am.
But actually follow, and we decided to post one full review every day. The first got like 11 million views. From there, Keith's entire content shifted to strictly food reviews.
Kept going
He has
up,
only been doing it full-time
up.
1 year at this point, but he never could have predicted what was about to happen next. While most high-profile food critics only pay attention to high-end restaurants that are too expensive for most, Keith shifted that focus onto affordable, small, family-owned restaurants that were easily accessible to the public, or fast food / popular affordable food chains. He even went out of his way to give a chance to establishments that were struggling financially. However, Keith doesn't consider himself a food critic. His reviews feel and look like one of your friends giving you a casual breakdown. A typical review would be him ordering 3 or 4 different items on the menu, like a family of 4 would, then tasting every single item and rating it from 1 to 10. He often throws in other notes like their customer service or additional information that is relevant to the experience.
I got it. Let's try it and rate it 1 through 10. I spent $23.84 on 3 bao buns and a drink. But bro, that's what they look like. Customer service, delightful. It was a very short interaction.
But if I got a headache, no.
It was really nice. And the actual building itself,
do not delete your channel, buddy.
It made me want to eat.
Relax.
Wait a minute, bro. Personally, it was lacking spice, so the add of the salsa took the tacos
from a 9
to a 9.7. That's one of them ones.
Even when he gives a negative review to the food, he will provide more context so it doesn't come off as unfair. He often goes out of his way to leave massive tips, sometimes hundreds of dollars to workers that give him good service. Since he had already built a strong foundation during his family man era, there wasn't necessarily one viral review that changed his life. His growth has been steady, and along the journey, his audience
I don't know what I want to eat. I gotta figure out something to eat tonight. I ain't gonna lie.
His down-to-earth
I'm on my own for
attitude,
food tonight.
unwavering love for his wife and kids,
I'll
and
probably do
dedication to
Thanksgiving.
God.
Finish
But even if you
some
don't know
Thanksgiving
about his
food.
past, after watching a few videos, you can just feel he is a kind and genuine man. They didn't care about Keith not being technically qualified nor having a depth of culinary knowledge. He thinks what sets him apart is his values. I stand on my integrity, I stand on my values, and I don't allow those to be wavered or to be shook no matter the amount of money, the opportunity, or the people.
Hey, you know the best thing to do? This ain't ever. That ain't never lie. The best thing to eat is a wish sandwich.
I'm surrounded by,
sandwich.
with nearly 10 million loyal followers, a full-time dedication to quality reviews of local
Don't he have
or
like,
less
I thought he
popular
had like
restaurants.
15 million,
a
right?
phenomenon dubbed the
that's not
Keith Lee
this time.
effect would take over Las Vegas, then all over the USA.
It
One
sure
of the
did.
first beneficiaries of the Keith Lee effect
Damn the
was a local
glizzies.
food truck called 303 in the Cut. In November 2022, Keith's review blew up and garnered over 35 million TikTok views since its initial upload. Keith confirmed their cheesecake sandwich was a 10 out of 10, and the next night,
A cheesecake
303 had
sandwich.
people waiting in line for over an hour, wrapped around the
Emotion.
corner for their food. The owner said they doubled their
The
income
leftovers
in
is
one
gone?
day
I don't know what to
and
tell
stayed
you.
that way for over
I don't know what
a
to
year.
tell you
One
then.
Las Vegas pizzeria
The leftovers is gone?
Frankincense
Man, you gotta
made
point the
headlines for
leftovers out.
attracting lines around the block because Keith gave their wings a 10, pizza a 9.8, and garlic knots a 9.2. However, it wasn't just the food. It was Keith's interaction with the owner, Frank, that made people want to support him even more.
If I don't like the food, I gotta tell you, I'm not trying to be malicious. And he was like, I'm gonna be real with you too. I need help. Yeah, that hit me here. He said the food is delicious. He has great reviews on Yelp. The only bad reviews is that he don't close the time it says that he closed on Google. The time it says he closed on Google is 1 a.m. He was like, I literally can't afford to open that late because we don't get that much business. Frank?
That's understandable. What? Yo, come on. That's kind of understandable. Like 1 a.m. You know, I think what he said, a food truck.
If you watch
That's pretty understandable,
to be
bro.
honest, you are an amazing man from what I saw.
This is probably the wrong video to react to without food in my belly, but I
I
keep it real.
appreciated your time and I appreciated your conversation. Let's try this food.
According to Frank, Frankincense had to hire 23 new team members in the 6 weeks following Keith's review and had guests from all over the world patiently
Is that
waiting
a
for over 3
sandwich?
hours
Oh,
for his
God,
pizza.
that's
Frank said he was
PTSD.
thankful that Keith helped his business and the overall
Sheesh.
community at
But he
large
said
in
a
Las
syrup
Vegas.
sandwich.
Yasser Zermino, owner of Aroma Latin American Cochina, asked Keith to come review their restaurant through email. Keith gave all 5 different items over a 9, including the Oaxaca sandwich, which he
Oaxaca.
said was the best he had ever had in his life. The owner said, "We went from not being able to pay the bills to now having to hire people to come and help us."
Yo, they made on NBC News. Yo,
Other
what the
Vegas-based
hell?
businesses that Keith reviewed have seen instant growth, like Caribbean restaurant The Pink Potato or Southern Taste Seafood, a food truck that went from making $200 or under a day to seeing a 900% increase in revenue in the days following Keith's review. But his impact wasn't just on small businesses. Even Chipotle,
Nah, Chipotle, boy. What, Keith Lee put everybody onto that vinaigrette thing, bro?
the fast casual
I ain't lie, I didn't want to go try it, you know what I'm saying? Hey, he did it. He was right about that. He was right about that.
chain that
I keep it
generated
real.
$8.6 billion in revenue in 2022 saw the benefits of the Keith Lee effect. In early 2023, a reviewer named Alexis Frost posted a review of a menu hack, an order of a steak quesadilla with extra cheese and fajita veggies that fans say tastes like a Philly cheesesteak. Keith reviewed it and gave it a 9.8. Then chaos ensued. Chipotle workers
Boy, Chipotle. Yee. Boy, I'm glad I didn't work at Chipotle during the Keith Lee era. Oh my God.
all over the
I worked
country
at
were
Chipotle before the
overwhelmed
Keith
with
Lee.
the tens of thousands of people coming in to order this hack. One employee said the worst shift of her life was servicing this trend.
Hey, I didn't experience that, but I'm gonna tell you that on my first day working at Chipotle a while ago, it was like Teacher Appreciation Week. It was Nurses Day, but the line was out the restaurant, bro. It was out the restaurant, bro.
Another
On my
employee
first
said
day,
a customer tried
I
to
couldn't,
swing
bro. I
on
couldn't.
him, aka fight him, because he couldn't make the food. Managers started posting signs that say, protein and cheese on quesadilla only. Chipotle realized the only way to solve this problem was by adding the hack as an option on their menu, dubbed the Keithadilla. Keith
The quesadilla. Okay. The quesadilla. That sounds like somebody with lips.
Quickly became well known all over Las Vegas.
Hello.
Once he partnered up with Mr. Beast to give $10,000
He
to a
did.
struggling business, he couldn't even go outside without being swarmed. So he dressed up in silly disguises to avoid being
What?
recognized. But his
That's like, hey, that's how you know you
impact
made
was
it.
not just
Motion.
in Vegas. Keith got to review a local Brooklyn bakery that he selected while being interviewed on Good Morning America.
Buddy made it on Good Morning America. Holy hell. Yo, this nigga got motion, bro. Hey, Keith Lee, just hire some bodyguards, bro. I know it's crazy because you're a family man, bro, but hey, you got the money for
While
it now.
also donating $10,000 to that business. He continued to do press runs, being interviewed on talk shows around America, and of course,
Simplicity
reviewing
drip.
food. So now that we know how much positive impact Keith can have on a business when he likes the food, what about when he doesn't like the food? Well,
On his trip down to Atlanta, Georgia.
unfortunately, the entire city of Atlanta
we
would
went
find
to
out about
Atlanta.
the negative
Oh my
side of the Keith Lee effect.
Please,
In
Pat, talk
October
about it.
2023, Keith announced to his nearly 15 million TikTok followers that he and his family were traveling to Atlanta, Georgia,
Thank you, Pat. Thank you. Let's talk about this.
and needed
Let's
some
talk
restaurant
about it.
recommendations.
Let's talk
he had
about it.
previously made videos in Detroit, Chicago, New Orleans, New York, and Los Angeles, but Atlanta's food scene is entirely different, which
Oh, y'all niggas, I never been to Atlanta. I need to listen up about the
prompted a
food.
lot of mixed reviews from Keith. The drama first began when Keith visited the Atlanta Breakfast Club, where he wanted to take the food to go, but they didn't have anywhere to sit and wait for the food. So
I'm so happy. I'm happy that Pat's addressing this because y'all legit. This is like some real, some real shit right here.
instead, they decided to dine
Weezy,
in.
appreciate
The
that
restaurant
follow.
wouldn't
Welcome to
allow
the
them
nation,
sit
my
down
guy.
at a table and be served unless the entire party was there.
What's
Upon
good,
finding out
Unc?
that they were charged
All right.
$1 for butter
How
at
you
a
feeling?
breakfast place.
Bro, I'm 21. I'm not even old.
It was just an annoying cherry on top. Little did Keith know, it was about to get worse. Keith posted his review of The Real Milk and Honey, however, he didn't actually get any food. Firstly, he tried to call ahead and order. They don't accept call-ins. You can only order on the DoorDash app. But
Nah, this is hey, I'm telling you, bro.
DoorDash said that they were
Oh, this in College Park. Oh my God.
closed.
They
So
deep in
drove to
Atlanta.
the establishment in the middle
Better
of
than
the
me.
day.
I ain't going
the
that far.
employees said they were closed for deep cleaning, while there were customers walking in and picking up orders. Then Keith walked into the restaurant and they recognized him and immediately attempted to serve him since he is famous.
Yeah,
to which he
motion.
declined.
Pretty
Keith has
old,
always
huh?
been very
Okay.
expressive that he doesn't want nor deserves
All right.
special treatment from restaurants. These days, he sends in his friends and family to do orders so he doesn't receive bias from the establishment. He wants his experience to match any ordinary person. I've personally never seen a restaurant have a rules list, but the Real Milk and Honey have a ton. We guarantee great food. Everything else is left to chance.
Only in Atlanta. How many blacks you smoke? I don't smoke. I don't smoke bogeys.
We do not
I don't
provide
smoke black
individual
and
checks.
Newports.
18% gratuity added to parties
So
of
like that
5 or
one
more,
actor?
or checks
Oh, the
larger
lady
than
that was right there.
$105. No reservations, unless you're Barack Obama.
Only Atlanta would do some nonsense like this.
No
Only
parties larger
Atlanta.
than 4 on days that end in Y. Keith was clearly
That's some Atlanta junk right there. You smoke black and miles? No. I
frustrated that a business would change the rules when it benefits them, but he didn't want
Unc,
people to
you
attack
smoke
the Real Milk
blacks.
and Honey because he had a bad experience. However, the internet,
The dementia
internet
hates you. Okay.
started attacking. There was actually another restaurant called Milk and Honey whose owners were receiving death threats in the DMs because of people confusing them with the
You
other
definitely
restaurant.
smoke blacks.
But if you had
What-
any sympathy for the Real
why
Milk
would a
and
guy
Honey,
like
you would
me
be
smoke
gone
black
once you saw their
mouths?
response video
Why?
they
Why would
uploaded
I?
to TikTok.
Did you see this Keith Lee video about the Real Milk and Honey?
And who is this Keith Lee?
Daddy, you don't know Keith Lee?
Yeah.
No.
The owner tried to look cool and pretend like he didn't know the
Yo. Who?
Yeah.
No.
The owner
Sorry, it's only Atlanta.
tried to look cool and pretend like he didn't know the entirety of social media is destroying his business, but it only made people want to support their business
Doing another cookout.
less. To add
What
insult
is
to
going
injury,
on?
Keith
What the
reviewed
hell is
the
going
bodega
on?
positively,
What is even
which
happening?
is directly next door to the Real Milk and Honey, which resulted in a line of customers skipping the Real Milk and Honey to wait in line for the bodega. But the shenanigans continued. Keith reviewed another ATL restaurant called Old Lady Gang, but again, did not get any food. He tried to call their number.
Tell you. Quit the Zans. I don't even do Zans.
No answer. Tried to order on DoorDash, said they were closed. He
Old
sent
lady
his family
Gwen.
into the
Oh,
physical
dang.
store to do takeout. They said they don't do to-go orders on the weekends, but the wait to dine in was 1.5 hours and they didn't take reservations.
I've seen this
Instead
video.
of leaving, Keith decided to walk in where he was recognized and immediately they offered him a seat, skipping the entire hour and a
Crazy.
half wait, to which Keith denied because he didn't want any celebrity treatment. This
I respect Keith Lee from this, bro. I respect it, bro. He humble dude. That's how you know he's humble, bro. But he said, I don't want no celebrity treatment. I want you to treat me like everybody else.
is exactly how it is for us regular ATL folks.
Heroin.
Imagine them telling you your wait time is 1.5 hours,
Oh
and
my
someone
God.
else comes
This is exactly how it is for us regular ATL folk. You know, imagine telling you in the wait time and someone else comes up and says to me, it's facts.
up and sits
Facts.
immediately. Keith left and visited Toast on Lennox, where he didn't
Oh, they in near
plan
Lennox
on doing a
Mall.
review, but
I
arrived
don't eat near Lennox Mall,
to
bro.
a 2.5-hour wait
Mark, you
time.
listen.
When he politely left, the entire staff walked out and offered him a seat immediately, to which he denied again. There were videos that went viral of him in the parking lot seemingly arguing with the staff, but he was just letting them know that he didn't want to skip the line. But Keith's experiences are not
Facts.
just unique to him. Cardi B spoke on the subject on an IG Live.
I feel like Atlanta restaurants, they don't like to make money.
No, they don't. I seen Cardi. I seen this
Like,
IG,
they
bro.
don't like people. They don't like their customers.
Stop
they
popping
just
stuff
don't
in your
fucking
system.
Like it. First thing first,
All
right?
right.
You could barely order in Atlanta restaurants. Like you go like, hey, I would like to make order. Oh yeah, we don't take orders. We don't take orders. It gets to the point that I literally have to name, like I have to tell like people that order food for me, like, can you just name drop my name? Because first, they don't do no pickup orders.
Nope.
They don't do deliveries. They just
Nope.
do shit.
And of
No.
course, we got some hilarious memes from this whole situation.
You walk in. Let me show you how it's done. Hello, sir. How are you today? May I take your order? You talk like that. We talk like that. Because Keith Lee is in town, bro.
That boy Keith Lee in Atlanta now. Hey, y'all little boozy at restaurants? Y'all better get on your goddamn Zoom now.
Yeah, these restaurants don't want to make no money, no interaction, no nothing, no, you know what I'm saying, no money at all.
Hey,
They just want
milk and honey.
to restock up and all that
See,
junk,
that was
bro.
how I get for giving me attitude when I told y'all my partner was just down the street parking the car.
Although most people were understanding of Keith's frustration with these ATL businesses,
Boy,
others, like ex-football player Chad Ochocinco, thought he was trying to tear
Ochocinco.
down black-owned businesses.
I don't like the critiquing of our restaurants and having people and talking bad about our goddamn businesses and like, dude, you know how hard it is,
And I get it, Ocho.
for us to even get in the food industry.
okay, yeah, that's okay. We get it, you know what I'm saying? You know, a fellow brother is raiding some sister or brother restaurants, you know, but he can't do that. He got to be honest with y'all, bro. That's the thing. See, people in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? They will try to help, you know, to help the brothers and sisters out with their, this stuff going on, but you got to be honest. You got to be honest.
Qualifications of being a food critic.
Go to a restaurant and do you like the food? Did you like the customer service? What was it like? Yes. What was the wait time like? That's all you got to do.
At the end of the
Straight
day,
up.
Keith just gives his honest opinion and experience, but he implores everyone to try for themselves. If he is too
That nigga Mark was trying to sell me some lead. It's super.
positive, his opinion
I'm
will hold no
laughing
weight.
how false
if he
it
is
is.
too negative, he will be seen as destructive. There will always be haters.
Of
However,
course.
broadcasting his opinion to 14 million followers will, without a doubt, prevent a lot of people from trying a restaurant. If someone I trust says don't go somewhere to eat, I'll probably listen to them. Or if I have one bad experience, I probably won't go there again. This is why some people
Not
argue
even
that
for
you
the dude
can't
with
have a
y'all
bad
niggas.
day in the customer service
I'm not
industry.
even.
If you can't afford a bad review, then you shouldn't give bad service. Especially if you are
Straight
inviting a
up.
food critic to your establishment, which a lot of these restaurants do. Through all the drama, Keith found a lot of gems in Atlanta. The seafood menu, Juicy Jerk, the dining experience, where
Juicy
he
Jerk.
personally tipped the owner $2,000, and
Oh, that's
Jamaican
lit.
Jerk Biz, where the owner broke into tears when he walked in. He asked the owner what her sales were for the day, which was $2,600, and he paid her $3,000 for his meal. However, Keith just announced that he's on his way to Houston to do a food tour, and restaurant owners are trembling. In just 10 months,
Well, Houston knows what to do, except, do the exact opposite of what some of these Atlanta owners did. Just be nice,
of
bro.
fame,
Straight
Keith
up.
has helped hundreds of businesses, raised tens of thousands of dollars for charity, and continues to spread love and positivity during a time where we need it the most. Maybe from here he will start a food review show, or a cooking show, or maybe an app for restaurants all around the country that he recommends.
Yo, Keith Lee could literally be he could be Boy, lavishing with money. I know TikTok's already. I don't know how much TikTok paying him. You know
As
what
long
I'm
as
saying?
he remains the positive and wholesome man social media knows and loves, they will support whatever endeavor he chooses. Finally, the internet made the right person famous.
That's a good video from Pat, bro. That's a good video from Pat. But nah, shout out to Keith Lee, though. Real jump, bro.